What's up, guys? Welcome back into the TCP podcast on the final segment. Okay, from now on, here's what we're going to do with the final segment. The final segment is just going to be called the wrap up. That's going to be the end of it. And what it'll do is it'll take all the segments, put them together, and let you know what happened in the episode. Um, the wrap up literally is just going to be me talking about the stuff that's going on, other stuff that's going on that wasn't mentioned in the beginning of the forecast. So you find out some in the beginning of the podcast. So you find out some other little things that are going on. But well, we're heading into the wrap up right now. Okay. Now you heard in the first two segments what I was talking about. The first segment I talked about the initial case for the New York Post and how they were censored by Facebook and YouTube. The second segment was all about why, and I told you guys why the Senate Judiciary Committee is not going to do anything about the censorship. Okay, now here's the thing. All right, we got what I need to say about this to end things over here on the podcast is there is a reason why. And I think I told you this earlier, why the Senate Judiciary Committee has no intentions on doing anything. One, some of this stuff has to be heard by Congress. Now, Congress is definitely not going to do anything. And you know what this stems from? What this stems from is the fact that when the Republicans had the Congress and the Senate, this was still an issue. See, that's the thing. You guys think this is all new. Everybody's looking at you and telling you like it's new. This is a new thing. Twitter's never done this before. No. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all these platforms have done this before over and over again for years and years and years. Ever since Google took over YouTube, there's been censoring on there. Facebook, same way. As you clearly saw with the new merging app, that they merged the messages with Instagram and Messenger, calling it easier. No, that's actually not the reason why they did that. The reason why they put those two apps together is because they want to get more of your personal information. That's why. And if you say anything on Instagram, then they can use the Facebook community standards without any issues against your Instagram account as well. It is a censoring blanket is pretty much what it is. It's there to make it so that you can't say something on Instagram. You can say something on Instagram that, necessarily wouldn't be okay on Facebook, but you can't say it on Facebook. And now they've paired those apps together. If you say something on Instagram that you could initially normally say on Instagram, now Facebook will hit you with community standards on your Instagram. Congratulations. Welcome to the world of dictatorship. That's what this is. This is China. We are in China now. That's what this is, okay? And these are the things that you people don't seem to get. Nobody understands what I mean by this. Like, I'm not trying to cut you down and tell you don't use social media. You can use social media all you want. Just be aware that you're being watched everywhere you go. I mean, anybody who knows anything about social media knows that if you look at the apps, Facebook and Messenger app, and now the Instagram app, and you look at their actual permissions that they give you, see, what you have to do is you have to put on, mode. You have to put on, what is that mode? It's the program mode or debug mode or whatever it is. You got to put that on to actually be able to see all of the permissions that these apps need. Now, when you do that and then you click on the other permissions app, there's about 3 more pages of other permissions that Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger need that they do without you knowing. You just don't see that because you don't put on the right mode on your phone to do that. The easiest way to do that is where it says the software operation, you'll see like a serial number for the software. If you hit that 10 times, that mode will come up and you'll be able to change it so you can see everything, all the permissions that every single app has on there. And Facebook and Instagram and Messenger take liberties with that stuff, and you guys don't get it. You guys don't get it. You guys are running around thinking that this is all new. This is not new. This has been happening since 2010. This stuff's been happening. They've been censoring people. And it doesn't matter what political affiliation you are. If you say something that is against the norm or whatever everybody else is talking about, all of a sudden you are now censored. Period. This is what happened with the New York Post thing. What happened was New York Post got the app, got the laptop and all the information and released all the information, which the American public should know. Whether you guys like to admit it or not, excuse me, the American public needs to know what our politicians are doing. The fact that our tax dollars are flying people who aren't in the government over to other countries, with Air Force Two in this case. Biden taking Air Force, sending his son over with Air Force Two. You know what I mean? You saw that, you guys. That's one of the reports that's in there. And then they were talking about hacked materials and whatnot on Twitter. There's nothing hacked about that. That stuff was information that was dropped. The pawn shop legally owns the laptop. And now the lawyer for Hunter Biden wants the laptop back and the hard drive. All of it. All the information, nothing deleted, this, that, the other thing. Well, that doesn't work. That's not how a pawn shop works. Now, at the end of the day, Joe Biden's son will get his laptop back because, the political establishment and elite love them so much, so they will make sure it happens. They'll restrict their business or something like that, like the local government will restrict their business or whatever, just until they give back the laptop. And this is an Orwellian life we're living right now. This is 1984, the book that everybody tells you to read. And when you see this stuff, you look in that book, and everything that's happening right now is literally listed in that book. And that book is the walk to communism, is what that is. This book has to do with communism and socialism. Socialism, and then you guys are going to sit there and be like, oh, socialism and communism are two different things. No, they're not. No, they're not. Not at all. Socialism leads to communism. That's the way it goes. It is the first step in a dictatorship of the country. That's what it is. And that's what happened with Venezuela. There are millions of people from different countries telling you all this stuff that is bad about socialism, and you guys don't want to listen. You know why? It's because you heard the beautiful wrap-up package. I call it the wrap-up package that everybody hears when it comes to becoming a socialist country. They say, we're going to give you this for free. We're going to give you that for free. We're going to give you that for free. And because the generations are so lazy now, you guys are so fucking lazy that you think that you deserve everything for free. You give me a break. You guys think that there's 72 different genders. You're retarded. You don't know where reality is, and that's only because your school has taught you. And I'm not going to blame the kids. I'm not going to blame the parents. I'm going to blame the fact that society taught this shit to kids, and kids believe it. All right. Now the situation with the Senate Judiciary Committee. I'm sorry, Ted Cruz. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm a Republican, but I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. You guys are not gonna do anything. Just say it. Okay? Rather than hyping everybody up before an election, because that's what you guys always do, rather than hyping things up before an election, why don't you just tell everyone that you're not going to do it? Because you are not going to do it. Even if Donald Trump wins the election, which it's looking really good that he is. If Donald Trump wins the election and, say, the Republicans take over the House, and then we keep the Senate, the Republicans keep the Senate, you know what's going to happen? Everything's going to go away. Every single solitary thing's going to go away. This case that they're going to see or talk to Jack Dorsey and Zuckerberg about is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I want you guys to understand that. My fellow conservatives, I want you guys to understand the reality. The Senate Judiciary Committee, Republican, Democrat, or not, is not going to do anything about Twitter and Facebook. The reason why nothing's going to be done is because, as I told you in segment 2 about it, Facebook provides financial backing for most of the politicians in the United States. That's the thing. Facebook and Twitter donate to their campaigns. That's the stuff that you don't get. That's the thing you don't see. You don't see the money transferring that happens all the time when it comes to this stuff. All right? So therefore, I can affirmatively tell you nothing is going to happen whatsoever in the Senate Judiciary Committee. All right? This was just something to hit Joe Biden where it hurts. That's what this was for. All right. And I'm not defending Joe Biden because Joe Biden should have never used our tax dollars to fly his son over to do illegal activities to make it so he gets a kickback. Because the big guy that everybody's talking about in these in both of these cases, he's talking about his dad. His dad stands to make a kickback from all these business dealings, and that is the reason why Mr. Joe Biden is filthy rich. He says he's from nothing, small town, Scranton, whatever the heck he says, all that stuff. All of it is lies. He grew up as a rich elite, is what he is. And what you guys don't see is that's what exactly what he's going to take into the White House. It'll be back to the establishment, just like everybody is used to, and they're going to be like, "Oh, go back to normal. We'll have wars that kill all our soldiers that'll last for years and years and years for absolutely no reason, just so some Democrats can make some money." I mean, look at the stuff when it comes to your Second Amendment. When it comes to your Second Amendment and First Amendment, if you elect these Democrats, what's going to happen is Beto O'Rourke is going to be in charge of guns in the United States. He's going to be in charge of guns. The biggest gun control advocate in the Democrat Party is going to be heading up the firearms team. Really? You know what that's going to do? There goes your Second Amendment. First Amendment's already gone, whether you guys like to admit it or not. As you clearly saw in the display that happened this weekend, this disgusting display where a black man was there talking and protesting against the censorship that was going on Twitter and Facebook, and Antifa showed up and beat the ever-living piss out of him. They shattered all his teeth out. Was anything done? No. The guy that was actually talking and protesting for censorship was then unceremoniously censored on Facebook and Twitter. The guy that was the victim, the one that got beat up by the groupthink, lost all his teeth. And he was a black man, too, which makes this entertaining because Antifa runs around Black Lives Matter, like they actually care about it. Yet Antifa goes to beat up a black person who was protesting free speech and censorship. They punched him in the face. That's what they did. Isn't that nice? I thought Black Lives mattered, but apparently that Black Life doesn't matter, which is a clear sign of what's been going on for the past couple months when it comes to Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, they're fake. Antifa, fake, all fake. They're not fighting for anything. You think Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter. Let's look back at some of the riots that happened this year. Okay, and I'm sorry to go on a rant, but I told you this is what happens with the wrap-up. Let's talk about stuff that happened this year. 7-year-old black girl gets shot and killed by another black person who happened to be a Black Lives Matter representative. Did that girl's Black Life matter? No, it didn't. 4 black people were killed during these riots from their own Black Lives Matter protesters and Antifa. Did their Black Lives matter? No, it didn't. See, here's the thing. Black Lives Matter, whatever matters only matters to them. And that's the Black Lives Matter people that run it. That's all they care about. Their lives. They have made millions off the Black Lives Matter trademark. But nobody seems to do anything when Chicago, 98% of the gun deaths in Chicago are black on black crimes. What happened to those black lives? Do those Black Lives matter? No, of course they don't. Because the only Black Lives matter that matter are the ones that have a political repercussion. The cop that killed George Floyd only mattered because it was a political reason. Breonna Taylor, who literally, her boyfriend stupidly opened up fire on the police officers, and the police officers unloaded their guns like they were supposed to. When you fire at a police officer, the objective to a police officer is to shoot back. That's what they did. Same thing with Jacob, the lovely Jacob. Black Lives Matter, One of the biggest things, they put it on the football helmets. Same thing that happened with him. He got shot several times by the police officers. Why? Because he was reaching for a knife to attack the police. That's why. Here's the reality, and this is where I'm going to draw to a conclusion. Here's the reality. All the people that Black Lives Matter and the Democrat Party are defending are criminals. Every one of them committed a crime that caused them to get killed by the police officers. But when a 7-year-old girl gets shot by a Black Lives Matter protester, peaceful protester, all of a sudden that little 7-year-old's black life doesn't matter. It's entertaining how that works. And that'll show you an open reality of exactly what's going to happen with this entire Hunter Biden case. Nothing is going to happen. Because what's good for them is not good for you. And that's the way it's always been. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the TCP podcast. This has been episode 4. If you guys want to start your own podcast, go to anchor.fm/start. Raise Rebellion. You need that energy. You need that energy for gaming, this, that, the other thing. You want to have that energy to exercise, game, or whatever. Raise energy. Go on over to repsports.com. Use the XDEA Gaming coupon code. Get 15% off your purchase over there. Okay? If you guys enjoyed this podcast and the videos that went along with it, comment section. Remember, you can also email me and say, hey, I want to do a debate, or hey, I want to be on the show. You can also leave, I left that link on the BitChute page. You can also leave a voice message in the podcast, and I can get your voice messages and play them on air. All right? What I'm looking for is one person who wants to debate me on anything political. You name it, I'll debate it. We'll see who wins. Let's have some fun with it. This has been the TCP podcast, and I'll catch you guys in the next podcast.